Hi everybody, how you doing today? Here we are, still shut in at home and trying to get through this pandemic and keeping myself busy and doing different things, whatever. But anyway, today is kind of a special day, a difficult day in some ways. Today I am consumed with my thoughts of my dear friend and bandmate, Paulus, who passed away 40 years ago today. It's hard to believe that it's been 40 years already, but 40 years and a few more days, this would have been his 73rd birthday, I think, too. Like I said, I don't know where the time goes, but Jon was, well, his fans knew him as Jon-Jon, but Jon was our original drummer, and like I said, a dear friend and special kind of guy. And you know, he was actually the leader when we first began as the Pulsations, because his name was on all the contracts, and when we were getting paid $100 to perform, and then eventually we became the Buckinghams, and things changed quite a bit by then. But he was a great drummer. He had an original style. He had some very unusual drum fills. If you ever listen to our hit record, Hey Baby, They're Playing Our Song, it's like 2.5 minutes of drum fills. But it works. I mean, it really works. He did it. He did a great job. It worked for that song. There was another song that was on our first Columbia album that was our second big hit record, Don't You Care? And that was Jon's idea for that drum fill at the beginning of the song. I don't know if you remember that. It kind of went, let me try that again. It was like a, so, you know what? I'm just making a mess of this. Let me just play it for you, and you'll hear what I'm talking about. See if I can get it to play, and you'll know exactly what I mean. Come on now. All right. Yeah, that was his idea. You know, it was really worked. It's a very signature sound now, intro to that song. And, you know, like I said, he was right there with us. I mean, if Jon had lived, I really think he would have been a big part of what we've been doing all these years now. And when the Buckinghams came back together in around 1980, and, you know, right after he passed away, actually, and so forth. But he was a great guy, and I have so many wonderful memories of him. You know, I remember, you know, a funny thing, I was thinking about this, the first time we were in New York, and we did our Time and Charges album. That was our first album on Columbia Records. And there was kind of a quirky song on the album called The Married Life. And we decided to have Jon sing the song. Now, Jon's a great drummer, but he wasn't a singer. Not really. But anyway, so we were trying to get him loose in the studio, and just to remind you a little bit of this song. See if I can get it to play here, if you guys remember. Just a silly little tune.
Well, I was walking on my way on a bright and sunny day, just thinking about all the...
All right, that's enough of that. But anyway, we had him up in front of a microphone and the mic, and we stood around him, and we kept teasing him the whole time he was singing. You know, we kept poking him and whatever to distract him. And at one point, we started to pants him. We actually undid his belt, and and he kept going. It was amazing. He didn't lose a beat. But anyway, by the time it got to the end of the song finished, he was standing there with his pants around his ankles. It was actually pretty funny. I wish somebody would have gotten a picture of that. But, I have a lot of fond memories of John. He was very proud of his Greek heritage. We spent many nights in Greek restaurants in Greek town drinking. I think that was ouzo, Greek wine, and we'd get pretty smashed. And he was also quirky, a really well-dressed guy, and he had this quirky thing about his clothes. If he saw something that he really liked, really enjoyed, really wanted, he would get 2 pairs of it, of those, whatever it was. I remember he had a pair of shoes that it was like a brown and a tan color, and he liked those shoes so much he had to get a second pair. So that's how he was. It was just, it's. I remember, one of my favorite vacation spots is St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands, and I remember the first time I was there, it was with John. Our wives, my wife Barbara and his wife Dale, were fashion models, and they were doing a photo shoot in St. Thomas. And at the end of the photo shoot, we flew out there to meet them, and we had a vacation that lasted another week, and we had a great time, and we did things and got crazy, and some things that I won't even talk about, but we had a good time. That's all I can say. I just wish everybody could have met him, because he was such a nice person, and he could make friends with anyone, get people to talk to him, get people on the phone. I remember after the Buckinghams first broke up, and John was went into managing music acts, and he managed Tufano and Giammarese, which was Dennis Tufano and me had a duo that we were trying to get a record deal and write songs and do original stuff, and we did a demo in Chicago, and he actually was able to get the great record producer Lou Adler on the phone to talk to him, and convinced Lou to listen to our demo, and that led to a recording contract with his record label, Lou Adler's record label, Ode Records. So he had that way about him that just people loved him, and he was such a friendly guy and a special guy and a dear friend. And I wish his daughter Polly would have had a better chance to know him, but couldn't be. And anyway, John, we miss you a great deal, and we love you, and that's about it. You take care now. Bye, everyone.